All right. I'm starting a little early just to check my mic, and seems like the microphone is working today. So I'm on here right now. We got about 2 more minutes. I have a very interesting podcast to share today, and I look forward to seeing as many people come on today as possible as we get ready to go into this Memorial Day weekend. Uh, well, there's a lot of things to be thankful for, but there are a lot of things to be considered, especially when you are missing loved ones. I would like to use this Memorial Day weekend to symbolize that all of the people that have gone on into the light from your lineage, your own ancestors, friends, neighbors, other family members, maybe people you went to school with. So, this is an opportunity to check this new podcast out for today. And hopefully, it is something that also allows you to be able to utilize the things mentioned in today's topic. And we're going to go live. Well, I'm already live, but it's going to be officially 1 p.m. in less than 40 seconds. So, as I'm doing this and you get a chance to come on live, some of you I sent an email out to uh, early this morning, I believe, and maybe last night. So, you get a chance to see and hear this live today. So, there we are. It is 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm here podcasting live, Clear Blue Radiance on the Resonant Essentials YouTube channel. I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 years, and I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your life and hopefully help you define your purpose if you don't know what that is right now, or you have a purpose but you're still kind of moving around in a circle a little bit and you don't see your way clear. So I'm that kind of person that can help you see what you're manifesting right now in your own life. And I'm looking forward to see more and more of you people to come down and to Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics to the brand new location that we've been in for about a month now. And I think you'll really like it. It's a nice, quiet area. We have a designated meditation classroom now that you can sit in. Now, I won't be there this Saturday because it's the Memorial Day weekend and I'm taking the weekend off a little bit. I don't think the school will be open, but I will definitely be there the following Saturday, which is June the 1st, from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So I'll tell you a little bit more later about the different things that we have going on as a regular basis that you can participate in through Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. So, this is Clear Blue Radiance. It's been around for quite some time. I probably have podcasted pretty close to 160, 170 live podcasts. That's a lot, right? That's definitely every week. And this one is no different. My topic for today is when you look into the mirror, who or what do you see? I'll say that again. When you look into the mirror, who or what do you see? Now, this is an interesting topic to itself. It's actually based on a music piece by the late Michael Joseph Jackson, or MJ, which he had called The Man in the Mirror. And so this is an opportunity to try to help figure some of these things out that we are going through all the time. Most people who are diligently working on themselves, ridding themselves of quote unquote the shadow self, most of the folks are doing pretty well at taking care of that, making their lives a little bit better for themselves. But there are many people still doing what? Fighting numerous addictions, low self esteem, self hatred, depression, suicide, thoughts of suicide, post traumatic stress disorder, and mental illness. Now, I have some clients that have college age students or high school age students who have a very difficult time with something now as being classified as social disorder because they have a hard time being in a classroom, and they're not looked at as being ADHD at all. They're just having a mental out of stress trying to sit there in a classroom with 29 other students. And with all the technology that's going on today, this is still happening. And this is even happening to people whose parents are principals, assistant principals, child psychologists. They have their own children going through these struggles every day in a school setting. And I've even heard that some of them had to drop out. They got into the college or university of their choice. They had the grades for it, but when it came to get ready to go to class, they struggled and then they couldn't do it. And I don't know what causes that. So I can't judge it at all, and I'm not going to judge it. But I know it's a very unsettling thing when a young boy or girl has difficulty sitting in a classroom with other students of like minded age or background. It's very difficult. I can say, even at the college level, it's very difficult. Now, I was able to get through 4 years of college. I went away from home. I went upstate New York when I lived on Long Island. And I went to a college called Bard College, a private liberal arts college. And I tell you, it had its, I'm going to say, its demons too, uh, dealing with very snooty, wealthy students who were like second generation or even third generation going to this college. You know, if their mom or dad wasn't there, it was their granddad or great grandfather or an aunt or an uncle. They had pickings, so to speak. They had people that could get them into this college. And my first year was rather rough, but I got through it with all the subtle racism that was there. And people said, "Why you pull a race card?" Because I actually was experiencing it. I wasn't just experiencing it through my parents not being the wealthiest. I actually was experiencing racism on that campus in a very, very subtle way. And later it proved to be true. But I got through it because I had something that my parents had given me, which is knowledge of myself, who I was, what kind of people do I come from, what's the background that I come from. Not just being quote unquote religious, but being also spiritual. I also had my spiritual awakening there at Bard. My third eye opened up in my actually, it was my sophomore year, the beginning of my sophomore year. My third eye exploded. Everything was happening. And I haven't even experienced what they call a Shaktipa. I didn't experience that until April 7th of 1977 in New York City, where I received an initiation to have the Kundalini released from the base of my spine, and then go on with my life and finally have it explode within me in 1988, spring of 1988. But while a freshman in college, actually my sophomore year, because in my freshman year I was learning meditation. Someone took it upon themselves to teach me some of the basics of meditation. And it was a non-student that was hanging out on the campus with a lot of other non-students. And I was blessed to get that. I was blessed to my senior year study Tai Chi Chuan for the first time, and in between study Taekwondo and Shotokan. So hey, all those things is what I needed at that time. But not all of us can get those tools, and even right now, we got the internet. You got mass influence on the internet where you can learn anything. You don't even have to get out of your house. You can just stay online on your phone, on your laptop, or your desktop and study all this metaphysical and spiritual things. Can you imagine though, back in the 50s, 40s, people go, you didn't have all of this. You rarely met people that were on some track spiritually or metaphysically or even magically doing something that changed their life around. And I say in my sophomore year in the spring is when my third eye opened up. I had a massive headache. It was so bad, I woke up in the middle of the night yelling and screaming. And and I was in a so-called minority dorm, and we were opening up the dorm to other students a year later because I was in that dorm at least 2 years in a row. But here's the interesting factor: I was yelling and screaming so much that I woke up the next day apologizing to the other students sitting in the social area between the two hallways because we lived in what was called a barrack house, like the barracks. 10 on one side, 10 on the other. Actually, five on one side, five on the other. So the women were on one side of the social room and the men were on the other side. And here's the factor that was so ironic and weird for me at that time. I was yelling and screaming. Hey Melanie, how you doing? Good morning to you. I was yelling and screaming off in the top. My head was hurting, my back was hurting, only to find out nobody heard me. So I remember calling my mother after everybody left the dorm, put some coins in the payphone in the hallway, and rang up my mother, who was 120 miles south of me on Long Island, and say I had a weird experience. And she tuned in. She said, "Yeah, I know you were feeling something. What's wrong, son?" I said, my head is still throbbing. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I felt like my brains exploded. She said, "Well, what was going on?" I said, "I was hearing all kind of sounds, bells, whistles, gongs in my head. I was hearing melodic tones. I was hearing like things scratching. I thought my brain was like a computer, it was click, 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 clicking. I felt that." She paused for about 15 seconds and said, "Son, your pineal gland opened up." I said, "My who?" She said, "Your pineal gland." I said, "What's that?" "I don't know anything about that." She said, "You got to do some research, look it up." She said, "But it's a small thing inside the center of your brain, underneath your brain almost, and it looks like a pine cone." Now, at this time, I had no idea that my mother was into this stuff. This was the beginning of me finding out. I knew my mother was sensitive to some point, but this was the first time when I actually found out my mother's just more than my mother. My mother got some interesting things going on. She's just not somebody who's reading the Bible all the time. She read that Bible inside and out. The King James version. She had tons of them in the house. The Gideon Bible, all kind of Bibles. But I didn't understand to about almost when I got out of college that my mother was studying the Bible metaphysically. And that's why she was able to help me. She was able to take those scriptures and turn them around. She knew something. And she was gradually trying to show me, but I was sealing myself off. So to make a long story short, it's already long. My pineal gland opened up because I was describing to her that I'm walking around on campus. As I passed by people on campus, I could hear things about them. I could see things. I could see things in an energy field around their body. I didn't know what that was. I could sit in the library and I would see these little gray forms of people walk past me. I could go in some of the oldest dorms, not the new ones, the oldest dorms, and I would see people there. But I couldn't explain that to my fellow peers because they would look at me as being crazy. Or they would say, "Hey, give me what you're smoking." That was the thing. Give me some marijuana. Give me some joints. Give me what you're smoking. I was having all of these experiences. And here I am, 72. And now I'm remembering all of those little scenes that I experienced while on college that was connected to my metaphysical and to my spiritual awareness. Now it's all coming back. So today's topic is when you look into the mirror, the reflective mirror, when you get up in the morning, it could be in your bedroom, head to toe mirror, it could be on a dresser, or it could be on a wall in the hallway. Maybe you got a little mirror there, or in the bathroom for sure, right? You're brushing your teeth, you're washing your face, you're combing or shampooing your hair. Who are you looking at when you're looking in the mirror at yourself? Have you ever thought about that? You just take a break and you start looking in the mirror at yourself. And you start thinking, well, what's going on here? Some days you see yourself clearly, right? Sometimes you feel very comfortable with yourself. And there's other days you don't. Many households have children growing up in dysfunctional families where one or both parents, a relative or sibling, is hooked on drug addiction or alcohol addiction. I have spiritual daughters right now who are teachers, grade school teachers across the border in Texas. And they complain at the level of fourth grade, third grade, fifth grade, how they have little boys who are struggling, who are coming to school already with a violent temperament, beating up other children in schools, boys and girls. And then only to find out from their parents, oh, he did this didn't happen to him to the other school. And then only to find out 6 months later, doing their own research as teachers, that those boys and girls, but mainly boys, have been kicked from one school to another school inside of a district, or literally banned from one district into another. Then, now this is what they hear from the parents. But then when they actually meet the parents, one of them is high as a kite. You'd think the person had been bathing in marijuana and hash. Their eyes are just, the parent is someplace else. When they go on field trips, one of those parents shows up and they're not in touch with reality. They're way off somewhere. And when they're talking to the son, and then only to find out it's not their biological son, oh, it's even worse. One day she found out, this is my friend, my spiritual daughter, she found out that the little boy happened to say, when he's at home, does he have anybody to help him do his homework? He says no. His mother's working two jobs most of the time. He doesn't have a father, or some have a father, but the father's too busy partying, token outside in the garage while he's fixing a car or a truck, or in another part of the house, or on the porch somewhere with his friends drinking. Could care less about if that child is going to learn or not. So I bring these things up as this is what our children are suffering from here in the United States, and it can be like this all over the world. Dysfunctional families. But then on another note, when we learn about spirituality and metaphysics, and we're looking at the soul is choosing these experiences. So then we can't go, I feel sorry for the child. I mean, we do in a humanistic sense, but in a whole nother level, it's very, very hard to come to a realization that a particular soul is choosing those other souls who are playing in this role as a dysfunctional family. It's hard because it's just like it's devastating to know that children have to put up with this. And this is why they say we don't, I'm not crying, I just have a little sinus. This is why we see that we don't remember when we're born into this world. We choose not to remember when we're born into Earth because Earth was supposed to have been an experiment. Now, some people were born wherever they are all over the world and had an inkling to learn, inkling about math or science on their own, or making things with their hands, or being artistically or musically inclined, or very good with a camera. And then somewhere in their 12, 13, 14, got this urge to do something. We see it all the time. There's children that have this urge that want to go out and help the homeless on their own. And then they have the right adults around them and they're able to pull it off. They're making sandwiches. Not only that, they're taking their weekly allowance and saving it up so they can buy face cloths and socks and gloves and scarves and winter hats and coats, starting these drives. There was a young man out here in Albuquerque. I've been here 13 years. He made it on the news. He was out here. Hey, Jackie. He was out here in Albuquerque. Now, check this out. He and his mom were homeless. His mom was working. He was going to school. And he got this urge to make soap, bars of soap. Not just buy bars of soap, but make his own bars of soap for homeless people. And it caught on. Where he was doing so well, it caught some newscaster somewhere where some guy interviewed him and said, this young man is a genius. He started taking these bars of soap and going to the homeless shelter, not selling it to them, giving it to them. 150 bars of soap, 100 bars of soap with face cloths and everything. And eventually someone realized he is someone. He's homeless with his mother. And his efforts bought he and his mom an apartment. Someone set them up, I think, close to a year in these apartments somewhere here downtown in a better side of the city, where he can do what? Continue to make his own bars of soap, continue to go to school. His mother can continue to work. Now they have a roof over their head. And as I hear, he's still going strong. Someone bought him a shop. Not just a house, got a store. selling his own products. So we know that there are many souls who awaken to themselves, to a destiny that they can perform. And we all look forward to it. For those who have survived, the shadows, however, still follow. We have the lower self, the ego, that's the ego side, still following us. It's supposed to, waiting for us to rein it back in and connect it to the higher self, which is the still small voice inside ourselves. The illusions that are embedded in the shadow self and the fears are real. Now, why would I say that? Well, we have a memory. We remember those downsides. We remember those moments when adults weren't kind to us and siblings weren't kind to us. We remember. We remember more than the oppressive personality around us because they stuffed it inside themselves and will tell you, I never did that. I never did that. Why would you be dreaming that? You must be dreaming that. You're dreaming that. That's not real. But here's the plus side. When the oppressive personalities around you see you kind of disappear and come back better than you were when they first got on your back, that means you're done with your crying. You've laced up your own boots. You found something special about yourself and you brought it forward. You turned all the bad times in your life, you realized what they were, and what did you do? You found a way to improve. You found a way to live better. Now, you may not be living in a mansion, but you got a roof over your head. You may not have the best meals in the world, but hey, the universe laid a table for you and you're eating because of who you are. When people say, may I have mercy on my soul, don't ask for mercy. Mercy is a lower rung of grace. Ask for grace. Don't ask for mercy. Ask for grace to show up. Not the spirit of mercy, grace. Mercy, you can be going through stuff and still get a prize, but you've been beat up so much you can't use the prize. But grace, the spirit of grace can come upon you and flip the whole thing around. And you was treading through mud, had your hand in the sand like an ostrich. You were carrying a boulder on your back. But when the spirit of grace showed up and consumed you as well as your life, then what happened? Bing! The light bulb went on, and you began to remember why you came here and why you chose such a path. And guess what? You realized that you could change the channel. That's what people are talking about now. They're talking about quantum theory, quantum jumping again. Huh? Why? They're talking about these reams of life running through us, timelines that we have created from our own thoughts based on the one that we're in. We can go to the right or to the left. Doesn't mean the left is bad, doesn't mean the right is necessarily good, but what we see is different shades, different expressions of ourselves in there, living a better life. That means if you don't have a job today, that means you can go into a deep meditation through yourself, through your heart, and discover there's a you in another stream right there, in another stream, who not only has a job, but is the boss of a successful empire, successful business. That's the amazing thing. There's a better you somewhere doing something on a higher level. If you were a struggling musician, there's another you that is the baddest musician on the planet, that's playing to 10 thousands of people. If you're a struggling comedian, there's another side of you playing to a whole stadium. Somebody's a janitor. There's a better you in another life stream. Not only are you a janitorial person, but you run a janitorial business that's extremely successful. And you're employing other people. And now you're cleaning banks, schools, supermarkets, everything that you could think of. There's a side of you who is a auto mechanic. And now you find that side of you that sells cars, top of the line cars. There's that side of you that owns franchises of Jaguars, Bugattis, Mercedes Benz, Cadillacs, BMWs. There's a side that is most successful. There's a side of you who's a teacher. And in another life stream, one of the best. And you're able to look in that mirror like a porthole and find that one that is doing it and become the thought of that one and say, what do I do now? And that one that's in that stream is like, where's that thought coming from? Let me rethink something out. I think it should be done this way. And then you hear it. And then that one says, I feel like I need to do it this way. Not only do you hear it, but you feel it. And now you begin to replicate the vibration. So, there are three basic steps you can take to free yourself. And I'm not talking about later, I'm talking about right now. We can free ourselves right now. Here are three basic steps that we all need to do. And they're best done in a quiet moment when you're to yourself. First one, identify the core issue that holds you back. What is it that's holding you back? Why do you think you're not successful? Or maybe you are successful just as you are. Maybe you're the type that don't need trillions of dollars. You just need to be able to maintain a roof over your head, get along with everybody around you, help those that need help. Because I say you don't have to bestow mercy. Don't ask for mercy. Ask for the grace that's in you that turns it around like that. Turns it around in a very subtle, quiet way. And you notice everything's coming together. So when you can identify the core issue that holds you back, what does it feel like? Because your feelings truly outweigh your thoughts. You know what it looks like because those are the thoughts. This is what the things that are holding me back. I can see them, but what do they feel like? When we get into what those core issues that are holding us back, what they feel like, bing, that's when you can make a change. The late Reverend Ike used to say, let the feeling get the blessing. If it's the wrong feeling, you get negative blessings. If it's the right feeling, you're going to get positive blessings. Now, once you discover that, you could walk that path by yourself. But you're better off doing this. Number two, find a support group. Find others who are experiencing that thing, that core issue. Or maybe you create a group where you all can get together in person. Or if one of you all got a 30-minute free Zoom channel, you can get on it and converse just like that for 20, 25 minutes and help each other prosper abundantly, grow, move on. Yeah, there are people out there talking about Bitcoin trades and all these other trades, but guess what? Those things will come to an end because they had a beginning. And most people that began those things were multimillionaires. So if they change their mind, they will abandon ship and leave you hanging high and dry. You got to create something better. Or find a psychotherapist. or someone that's an expert or one who has successfully conquered their old self. That's step number two. Find a support group, find a psychotherapist, find someone who's an expert who's already done what you're looking to do, which is to free yourself from the depths of the old self. Then, number three, stop hiding from yourself. That's why people get addicted. They don't want to face themselves, so they toke up, get as high as they can, pop a few pills, drink some booze, and get totally inebriated so they don't have to think about who they see in the mirror. When you stop hiding from yourself, you're able to take a good look at yourself. Where? In the mirror. And without judgment, if you can, find out what you are or who you are. That's important. To be able to look in the mirror at yourself and like really look at yourself. And you don't have to be looking at yourself if you're feeling like you're disheveled or anything. Look at yourself as is when you get up in the morning. Do you like what you see? Well, here what you need to do after those three steps. What's the first step? Identify the core issue. The second step, go get help. The third step, stop hiding from yourself. Here's the fourth thing. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, while gazing upon the reflection of yourself in the mirror, here are some questions that you should ask yourself. For those of you that are struggling with an addiction, am I sober? Because you know what happens when you drink the night before, or days upon days or weeks, and you got that heavy hangover. Once it wears off, ask yourself, am I sober? Now, when you do that, you should pause for at least 15 seconds. Did you feel something? Did you hear something? If not, ask yourself again, am I sober? Just like that. Am I sober? Really ask yourself. When you ask yourself, am I sober? You might ask, how many times a day or a week did I get high? Remember, I said you have to stop hiding from yourself. So these are powerful questions. How many times a day or week do I get high? Or am I a binge eater? When I get upset, do I just go eat? And why? Why am I eating so much? Why am I going after sweets so much? Well, we go after sweets. Sweets are what? Because you want sweet. You want your life to be sweet. That's why you're eating a lot of sweets. You want your life to be. It's not just a craving. It's a thing you're trying to fill a void with yourself. Don't have any sweetness, no sweet people around you, so you're gonna eat something sweet. I remember one time I could almost train myself not to eat certain things because I would put a big X on it in my mind. When I was growing up, I couldn't stand bananas. I hated the taste. I just couldn't. It didn't have to be really spotted banana, super sweet. Just turn yellow, just ripe, just enough. But this is what I did, so I can eat the banana. In my mind, I said in the center of that banana was creamy chocolate filling. And what I used to do was I used to keep some chocolate around, eat the banana. Oh, this doesn't taste right. As soon as I got it done, I would eat a piece of chocolate, like a Hershey's bar, and I would chew on that. And I put them side by side. It says, that banana tastes just like chocolate. I get the dark chocolate, the brown chocolate, the white chocolate, and I would keep at it almost once a week until I could eat the banana without eating the chocolate behind it. You might ask this question: am I a procrastinator? You may not be a person that gets high. You may not be a binge eater, but are you a procrastinator? You want to ask yourself that. Am I a procrastinator? And what you're doing is you're looking at yourself and you're waiting for that response from inside. If you're a person that makes excuses, am I that person? Or you go way to the extreme. Am I a chronic liar? Why do I lie so much? Or do I lie to myself? Because remember, the third step, this is based on the third step. Do not hide from yourself. Do I lie to myself? And then one of the most difficult questions is, do I hate myself? Because all of these are based on whether you got love for yourself or not, whether you got low self esteem or high self esteem. As you ask these very tough questions while gazing upon your face, you must pause between the questions. Why? Because when you pause between the questions and you remain as silent as you can, you're listening to hear that still small voice. When you feel the response, sit and meditate on the responses, not on the questions anymore. Meditate on the responses that you got. You will hear it somewhere in the back of your head. No, you're fine. You're not someone that drinks. We might call you a healthy drinker and a healthy smoker. It's not big to you. You can go for weeks on end, months on end without taking a drop of alcohol or wine or beer into your system. No, you're not a binge eater. No, you're not a person hooked on sweets or even on sodium. You just know you've been drinking a lot of water. And that's all right with you. Why? Because you're trying to create neutrality in the body or trying to raise that alkaline vibe, that pH level in your body. And what you want to do when you're meditating on these responses that you hear internally, you want to write down your feelings and write down your thoughts. And I would say, if you can, when you have the time, do it every day. But best, start out once a week. But after a while, you're going to realize it's best for me to start scripting every day. What am I feeling when I get up in the morning? Do I feel okay? If you feel okay, or if you feel tired, get some more sleep. I know I stay up all hours. Sometimes I got to force myself to go to sleep. That means 10 o'clock, between 10 and 11, get a nap or something. That's at night because I work best that night. So get a nap. I'll go lay down for 2 or 3 hours. Then I'll wake up. My body says, let's lay here a little longer. I do that. Or my body says, hey, man, let's go take a shower. I do that. Better yet, my body says, let's take a bath. I do that. And I soak. But while I'm soaking, I'm relaxing my mind. And I'm thinking about those feelings that I got. And after a while, I'm going to tell you, the thoughts that were weighing on you are going to float to the bottom and they're going to break up. You're going to find out that core issue, all of it is going to dissipate, and you're going to start feeling better. Now, when you get up, you're going to claim how the day is going to be for yourself. You can say, I'm having a good day. I feel like I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to smile, and the world's going to smile back at me. Somebody's walking their dog, and their little dog going to want to jump in my lap. I recognize you. That little dog said, I dreamt of you. You're going to link up. Next, write down the steps that you're going to take to change yourself. Those steps could be, maybe I'll walk 20 minutes a day. Some people say walk three miles. I say walk as long as you can, but don't tire yourself out. People say you need to exercise vigorously. No, what you need to do is set a timer where you're going to exercise for 10 minutes. Now, if you can get to that 10 minutes and you're okay, just keep going every day. When those 10 minutes feel comfortable to you, set the timer for 12 minutes, not 15, 12 minutes. And when 12 minutes a day feels comfortable for you, now shoot for 15 minutes. And over the next 3 days, if 15 minutes feel comfortable to you, shoot for 20. That means stay busy, exercising for 20 minutes. You can do crunches, side crunches, twists. You could flex your joints. You could turn on a channel on the Gaia channel if you got one of those smart TVs and click in and look for yoga and follow the person doing yoga. Follow the person doing Qigong or Tai Chi. Then you need to find out the best time when you're going to exercise. Is it in the middle of the day? See, out here where I live, people say, yeah, you from back east, you go for a walk. No. If it's 80 degrees outside this building, walking 10 minutes from here, it's like 90 degrees. A mile walk in 90 degrees is a lot different than being indoors on a stride machine, a step machine. Things are different. Out here, you can't go for a walk in the middle of the day. It's too hot. You got to go closer to sundown or sunrise. Other than that, stay indoors. Do something else. So change things around. You don't have to do everything the same way all the time. Just do it differently. A lot of my nephew, he often has used to tell me when we all lived back east. My younger nephew was living in Arizona. And he's played semi-pro football, and I think he's getting ready to do it again out there. And this is what he used to tell me. He says, Uncle Frank, don't overdo it. Find out where you would normally get exhausted and go just underneath. He said, you just need to trigger your metabolism, trigger your heartbeat. Don't overdo it for your age. If you were never athletic, you're not going to be purely athletic now. But you're going to do something that helps you in this moment. If your body says, we're not going to eat anything today or tomorrow, we're just going to drink some water, your body knows. Your body actually knows more than this. Do you know that a lightning bolt contains billions of electricity, a billion volts in one lightning bolt? But your body has 0.17 volts per cell in your body. Or it might be more like 0.017. That's 17 hundredths of a volt in one of the cells of your body. And they say we got 2.52 billion cells in the body. Can you imagine all of that voltage running through if it ever got linked up? You could be a walking stick of dynamite. You could be a searchlight all by yourself. Now, there are people who can radiate the energy, but this is what happens when you radiate too much energy up into your auric field. Months later, you have spasms. Months later, you have migraine headaches. Months later, Anything that was dormant inside your body gets triggered. I know because I once had a companion who lived in New Jersey and New York City, and she worked with this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he taught her how to flash her aura in the dark. Well, guess what? She flashed it a little too much. And one day, 6 months, 7 months in front of her 50th some odd birthday, in fact, this was 2009, before her 52nd birthday, she transitioned. Why? Because for 8 months prior to that, she once had cancer, cervical cancer, and it was able to go into remission. But because she was getting high, and because this particular teacher was saying, flash your aura, flash your aura, also reawaken the areas where cancer was in her body, lying dormant. And that cancer got relit and began to travel throughout her body. She began to lose weight, lose appetite, became moody and depressed. Fear entered. Nobody in her family knew what was going on, none of her friends. But all of her spiritual teachers that she spent thousands of dollars with, none of them showed up at that hospital. Even when the family members told them what was going on, these millionaire teachers never showed up. They were hanging out at their penthouses in Los Angeles. Penthouses right there in New York. She was in New York City. They were hanging out in penthouses in New York City. They were traveling back and forth to India and South America, enjoying themselves, while my ex-companion was slowly dying. So we got to be careful. Be careful who you study with, be careful who you learn from. Be careful when you learn certain powerful techniques, because some teachers aren't responsible people. They're not going to drop whatever they're doing and come to you, or they're not going to drop wherever they are and send that light out like a bullet to help you. They're going to be counting that money, and they're going to leave you to yourself. So be careful. So when you take this opportunity to change, realize that it's an arduous path to be able to change all the habits that didn't work for you into something that now works for you. You got to be able to do that. And when you can do that consistently for yourself, and I know that you can do it within 90 to 120 days, you'll see an inkling of change by the 30th or the 45th day. Pat yourself on the back. Don't be hard on yourself, and keep moving one step at a time forward. Pay attention to what you are feeling, because your feeling, as Reverend Ike says, will certainly get the blessing. Now, as I said, you should listen very intently to the song of the late Michael Joseph Jackson called The Man in the Mirror. And if you go there, well, you can listen to the entire tune. Really take it in. I had some tears listening to it because it hit home. That's why I was able to write about this and talk about this. If we keep making the necessary changes, we can expand what? Ourselves. We become stronger. We become more resilient, healthier in the matrix of the body, the mind, the soul, the spiritual nature of ourselves. And then we can move forward and begin to set ourselves free. Well, to find out more about Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics, located at its new location, which is 2703 Broadbent Parkway, Northeast, Suite J, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87107. Simply go to our website at www.resonant, RESONANT, essentials, ESSENTIALS.com. You can find out about the practitioners. They can work with you remotely or in person. There's four of them right there: Michelle Vidal, Johanna Rader, uh, Audrey Wilson. She's from the UK. She was just here in April teaching at our new location. You can go there. There's Christine Michelle. Christine Michelle is an excellent sound healer. You could go there and you can listen. In fact, May 22nd, I think she already did it. Probably, or coming up next Wednesday, she's going to do something with sound. So you could take a sound bath with Christine Michelle. But you can find out, and she can get you online. Michelle Vidal can help you online. Johanna Rader is an excellent astrologer. She can help you online. And Audrey Wilson can help you. She's all the way in the UK across the pond with transmediumship and many other things. What else you need to do? Well, this Saturday, I won't be teaching my creative path work meditations at all. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. I want to say thanks for Melanie Hall. Everybody is listening in from Australia. Thank you, Jackie. Fillmore Antoine down there, over there in Maryland, here in the United States. And Samaya Woods also on the East Coast, I think Maryland or PA. Thank you for tuning in and watching today. And whoever else didn't like click in right away, I know at one point it was 6 of you listening. Um, Usually every Saturday from 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time to 12:30 p.m. for 1 hour for just $10 an hour, I do my Creative Path Work meditation series. That's right, I teach my own mindfulness energy techniques to get in touch with your physical body, to be able to calm your mind. And we have people in the group. I'll teach anywhere from 1 up to 25 if I can get them in the room. Do this every Saturday. Now I'm not there this Saturday, so I'll be there next Saturday, June the 1st at 11:30 a.m. We get started. So if you are in the Albuquerque, Santa Fe area, Bellins, wherever you might be, and you want to come and participate, RVSP, send me an email at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com so that you can get this information on how to be there and get meditation in with me. Usually within 6 months, people can sit silently in meditation together, even less time, in 6 weeks, whole group sitting there quietly in meditation. But I'm also teaching other things, guided meditation points as well, breathing techniques to help you out. That's every Saturday at our new location for Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. Now, usually every second Saturday, right after my class from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., for a simple donation of your choice, you can listen to the speakers who are connected to the Institute of Noetic Sciences. Yep, we have a branch here in Albuquerque, and they come to our location every second Saturday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., with some very interesting topics revolving around noetic sciences. Also, Saturday, every third Saturday, we also have the Albuquerque Astrology Group every third Saturday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Now, that's a group, evolving group, by our young astrologer, Johanna Rader. And she's very good with astrology. She knows the different aspects, evolutionary astrology, you name it, she's got it, she teaches it. How to understand the placements of planets in your natal chart. She can do it for you. She did mine a couple of years ago, and it's boom, very accurate. Every Saturday online, there's the Albuquerque Tarot Circle. The Albuquerque Tarot Circle online from 10:30 a.m. to I believe 11:30 or 12 a.m., 12 p.m. with Susan Pepper Yohola. That's Jojola. Susan Pepper hyphen Yohola. And she teaches tarot, how to significantly understand tarot. So this is always happening. But what you need to do is go to the website, www.resonantessentials.com, and find out whatever else is happening, what other events we have going on. Well, I'm tired. I'm gonna go get some ice cream, and I know where to get it. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening. Again, a shout out to Melanie Hall, Jackie Fillmore, Antoine, East Samara Woods, and the famed Barbara Ewing. Thank you all for tuning in, and whoever else that didn't click in, thank you. Come back, share the link. We're gonna have a good time, and I hope to see you next Thursday. Uh, by the way, I got a call from Lloyd Strayhorn yesterday while I was out with some friends, and Lloyd asked me, along with Brandon J. Smith, Brandon Jamal Smith, and myself and Lloyd, will be on his podcast next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. On Numbers and You, I'll be there with Lloyd Strayhorn and Brandon Jamal Smith, and we're going to talk about meditation, my favorite topic, and what you can do with it. Take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, splendid evening, a splendid tomorrow, a magical Saturday and Sunday. And those of you that join me, Sunday will be the fourth Sunday. So we're going to do our free planetary healing circle. You can tune in and do that with me as well. Again, if you need more information, that one goes on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the fourth Sunday, a free planetary healing meditation. Topics are discussed of all kinds. So all you got to do, give me a text message, email message to iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com so I can send you the link so you can join us. And Melanie, you should be on it. So I'm going to give you that email so that you can join us at your scheduled time, hooking up with us this Sunday and participate in planetary healing circle that's absolutely free through my Circle of Grace One and me, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. Whew, okay, I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. See you next Thursday, hopefully, or see you this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Mountain if you're out here with me for free Circle Grace One planetary healing. Take care now. Much love to you. And remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. See you soon.